Howdy folks, I'm Brian and here's some Reddit. Let's jump right into this. Alright, our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Asking My Girlfriend to Throw Out Her Ex's Things? I'm a 30-year-old male and I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend, a 29-year-old female, for 18 months. Things are starting to get serious to the point where we discussed the possibility of me moving into her house. Prior to me, she was in her serious relationship for 9 years with her teenage sweetheart. Together, they had 4 kids, now aged 8, 10, and twins 5 years old. Sadly, their dad passed away 3 years ago from cancer. Now I've met her kids. I've stayed the night at her home. She's asked me to watch them here and there so she could run errands or do her weekly hourly driving lessons prior to the UK's 3rd lockdown. Her kids are great. We go on family days out together and I feel like they have accepted me and I'm growing to love them a lot. However, there is something I find very uncomfortable. She still has a lot of her ex's things laying around. She has a framed poster of his favorite football team hanging on her bedroom wall, and she hates football. She has a picture of him and her and their kids hanging on her walls in the hallway of their lounge. She has a t-shirt folded in a box in her wardrobe. The other day, I found a half-empty bottle of men's shower gel at the back of the bathroom cupboard, and it isn't even a brand I like to use. When I asked my girlfriend why she still has all this stuff up in the house, she got a bit defensive. She stated that having a picture hanging up reminds her and the kids of their times together before they lost him, having his clothes in a box purely so the kids can smell his scent if they miss their dad and they can hug the shirt instead. I told her it makes me very uncomfortable having all these little reminders of a dead man in my face, and if I were to move in, then she would need to get rid of all the stuff. She got upset, started crying, and said that she just couldn't erase those parts of her life, and the home that she has with the kids was her home with him. But here's where I might be the jerk. I got a bit irritated with her, and I said that I don't feel like she is willing to compromise and consider my feelings. That I felt like she was comparing me to a ghost, and that she might not truly love me by not considering it. She hasn't spoken to me properly in 3 days, so am I the jerk? Alright, OP, so let me get this straight. Your girlfriend is holding on to reminders of her late husband, who she's known for 10 years, or who she was in a relationship with for 9 years, and knew before she even met you. And suddenly you're feeling jealous over this guy who's not here. I mean, they can't erase these memories. You know, things aren't ever going to be right between her and, you know, the universe. I mean, things just aren't fair sometimes. And she's moved on and she's dating and she's, you know, picked you as her partner. There's no need to be jealous of a person who's not here. She cherishes these memories, and this is just something that you're going to have to accept, that she has a life before she met you, and that's perfectly fine. And you know, I think that what you're making, the demand you're making here, is pretty unreasonable. I think that of course she's not going to erase all of these previous memories, and asking her to do so is just, I think, horrible. So yes, you're a jerk. Don't ask someone to erase someone out of their life just because you feel a little jealous about it. Yeah, I think that this is not a battle you should pick, and if you really love your girlfriend, then you won't ask her to do this. You're the jerk. Sorry, but F your feelings. Don't date a woman who has kids with a dead dad. They're not going to erase them from your life just for you. Keeping his memory alive is important for her and them. Are you intimidated by a dead ex? Most importantly, he's not her ex. They didn't choose to end their relationship. He died. It's not the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I think semantically. Yeah, you're the jerk for asking them to throw away the stuff, except the shower gel maybe. I might get asking to move things to storage, but the kids need reminder of their father. I don't know. I don't even think asking them to move it to storage is reasonable. I mean, it's important for the kids to be able to have mementos. So I don't think that they should just tear down all the pictures of them and their father just because, you know, reasons. Also, the shower gel might remind the kids of his scent. I mean, if he showered with that, then it's going to be a memory of that. So I don't know. I think that that's even asking a little much personally. All right, our next letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk for Practicing My Religion in My Home? So my brother and his wife and their child have come to town recently for reasons that aren't relevant to this. They couldn't find anywhere else to stay on short notice, so our parents suggested that they stay with me, and I agreed, since I live alone in a 2-bedroom house. Anyway, my brother and I were raised atheists, but after marrying his wife, a fundamentalist Christian, he went pretty hardcore into religion. This is where the problem arises, because for the last 6 years, I've been an active practitioner of heathenry, North paganism, for those unfamiliar. This ended up causing problems. My hearth cult, an altar essentially, is in my living room, so I went through my near daily routine of making an offering and saying a prayer without even thinking about it. My brother and his wife have been in the room a few times when I've been doing it. Yesterday, my brother asked me if I could hold off on doing anything religious for as long as they are staying, which could be as long as a month. I asked why, and he informed me that his wife is apparently worried about staying in the house of someone who worships demons, which isn't even remotely accurate description of my faith. He also told me that apparently it scares his kids, which honestly I call BS on. I'm pretty sure he just said that to try and guilt me. So, will I be a jerk for continuing as normal? I'm sure that the kids in all of the Norse religions, when they were practicing it in those families, were traumatized and scared. No, I don't think you're a jerk here. The thing is that people have different religions, and part of being a guest in someone's house is accepting them and accepting their religious beliefs. You're not telling them they have to engage in your religious practices. They can engage in their religious practices, you can engage in yours, and this is fine. If she doesn't believe in your religion, she doesn't get to call them demons. Plain and simple. She is saying that your religion is essentially an evil religion just because it isn't her religion. And I think that's wrong, and I think that's, not good of her to do. So anyhow, no, I don't think you're a jerk here. I think you're being extremely generous by inviting them into your house. And if they can't live within this environment and it bothers them that much, then maybe they should go find somewhere else to live. Not the jerk. Christians are used to always being in charge of everything everywhere. Their emotional fragility isn't your issue. Not the jerk. It's your house and you're doing them a massive favor by letting them stay. If his wife is so worried about demons, which you said is BS about paganism, then she can move somewhere else. And OP says, I'm honestly on the verge of telling my brother this. I feel like his wife may have some wrongful connotations about the word heathen, and in my mind, I felt like I could try explaining it to her. But I've seen many times before that she's closed-minded sort and decided not to even bother. Alright, our last letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Putting a Lock on My Room After My Mother Threw Away My New Clothes? I'm a 35-year-old female and I live with my parents. No kids, full-time job, and I pay $650 a month in rent. My parents are legally separated but have stayed living together for the past 10 years. Basically, we all live in a roommate situation. Everyone buys and cooks their own food, everyone tidies up in the communal spaces for the most part, and we just all do our own thing. 5 years ago, I had my own apartment, but I lost my job, car, and good credit. My mom invited me to move back so I could rebuild, and I've been doing well in fixing my credit and saving money. Mom guilts me to stay now because she relies on my rent money. My mom has always been nosy and overbearing. As children, she never gave me or my brother any privacy. Now that I'm home again, she's gotten into the habit of doing a quick knock on my door and then opening it before I can say, come in. She's obstructive when I'm on the phone and gets angry when I ask her to leave my doorway. I've nicely requested that she stay out of my room when I'm not home, but I know she goes through my stuff. She calls my room dirty, but it's not. Some clothes on a chair and unmade bed is not the end of the world. Things blew up when I received a package of lingerie. I immediately tried everything on, and of course my mom picked that very moment to leave her room and come knocking on my door. I yelled for her not to come in. She got huffy and went back to her room, slamming her door. I got irritated and took all the new pieces and shoved them back into the shipping bag along with all the tissue paper and clear plastic. I left the package on the chair and threw my dirty clothes on. I leave for work the next day and come back home and there's no clothes or package on the chair. I asked my mom if she's seen it and she said yes, I threw away your trash and washed your clothes. I kind of lost it. I told her that she'd thrown out $80 of brand new underwear and that she had no right to be in my room in the first place. She yelled back that it was her house and if I didn't keep my room a pigsty, then she wouldn't have a reason to go in there. Today, I went and bought a new locking doorknob and installed it on my room while my mom was out of the house. I then left for the day. About 2 hours after I left, my mom started blowing up my phone with angry texts demanding that I change the doorknob back and that I didn't have her permission. When I got home, I completely ignored her and locked myself in my room, and she banged on the door and screamed for 5 minutes straight. I'm now looking for apartments. I was saving for a house and a down payment, but I can't take this drama. Brother says I should have left years ago, and our mom is too manipulative. My friends say that I should not have put a lock on the door without her permission, and I should have just moved out as soon as possible. 4 days in, and mom has yet to apologize for tossing out my lingerie. Just gave me the silent treatment until today when she blew up about the lock. Am I the jerk for installing the lock? OP, I don't think that you're a jerk for installing a lock. You are paying rent. You are paying $650 in rent every month. This isn't her house at that point in time. You are a paying tenant. If she doesn't like it, then too bad. So, I mean, even if you weren't paying any rent at all, you would still have a right to privacy. And the fact that she doesn't think that you have any right to pay privacy, even though you are a paying tenant, is pretty disturbing. So no, I don't think what you did here is unreasonable, and I don't think what you did here is wrong. You deserve your privacy, and yeah, I mean, I think you're taking all the right and necessary steps of getting out of the house, and hopefully, once you are gone, this will be the end of it. You can tell her that she can change it back when you leave. So yeah, nope, don't think you're the jerk. Who cares who's the jerk here? You just need to move out. You are being manipulated to stay in a toxic situation as a 35-year-old woman. It seems like everyone is staying with the status quo because it's easier to stay with things the way they are than change. This whole situation is just crazy. Just leave and get yourself your own living situation that works for you. Your mom will figure it out. OP says that she's going to move out, so what do? Tell them to move out. Fantastic. 1000% not the jerk. You're not a child, you pay rent, you're allowed your privacy. If you weren't already looking to move, I would have suggested it. Yeah, even non-rent paying children are entitled to their privacy as soon as they can be left alone in a room safely. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I've just decided to scrap the schedule. And yeah, if you want to say something to me in private, you can email this address that's on the screen. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Horrors of all horrors. My phone agrees.